This video is on working with the tools and principles of structured word inquiry, and it's inspired directly by a wonderful video and post at Word Nerds, a grade 7 blog at a class at the International School of Kuala Lumpur, led by Anne Whiting. The students' work in this video and that is presented there is just spectacular, and they have kind of internalized processes that I'm always trying to help teachers understand. So I hope you right now maybe stop this video and go over to this link so you can watch their work. And then I'm going to kind of go over the same process they do just automatically because they've learned this stuff, or ask these kinds of questions when they're trying to understand a word, the spelling of a word and its meaning and history and pronunciation and all that. These are the questions that I often post when I work in a classroom and help teachers and students remember the questions to ask. So here's a smaller version of it that I use to guide my work. And the first question in spelling is to ask what the word means. The next question is, how is it built? And whenever we're trying to understand a word, what we really need to understand both the structure and the meaning. The structure test is, can we make a coherent word sum? And a good part of their video is trying to sort out the word structure, but with word sums. The first thing that Anne does is so great is the kids have these great ideas, but she makes sure that she makes them write them down. And write them down in a word sum. So you write your hypotheses of the structure. People quickly see an ION suffix in this word as a potential suffix, and we can prove ION in other words. And as soon as I do that, I might be hinted at this word differentiate, which has a different pronunciation, but certainly it seems like it must be what differentiation is built on. And I notice a kid uses the word stem there, which is wonderful. But differentiate has an E there. Now, the thing that we need to remember is that these kids have no problem with, is that the vowel suffixes replace single silent E's. So my word sum hypothesis works because if I were to write this out, I get the whole word differentiate, no E, ION, and I get the correct spelling. So my word sum is coherent. But what they can then do is try to go deeper. So one thing you see is a potential ATE suffix. So I'm going to just put that here. If that's an ATE suffix, and then I have my ION, then I could have this still replaced, and then they see that something they know about that a lot of people don't is this idea of a possible connecting vowel letter. Now I'm just going to jump over here to Real Spelling, because this is a link you should go to for these kinds of concepts. When you go here, the Real Spelling Gallery is just a rich place for facts about the writing system. The thing we're looking here is a morphological concept, and I highly recommend watching the video on connecting vowel letters. And actually, I'll watch that next to combining form. They're just super powerful concepts. Of course, all of these videos are super rich in terms of explaining facts about the writing system. Now we have this word different that we can think about as connected in meaning, and that makes great. But then somebody sees, wait a second, maybe there's an ENT suffix, and they had to do some work to prove that ENT is a suffix, and there's some more work to be done there. But it's quite a demonstrable suffix. I have evidence here. We'd have to look at some better examples to prove it that are more obvious, but we can do that at another time. If ENT is a suffix, then we have differ here. And what's wonderful is when you do this, if I write DIFFER, some student there noticed that maybe DIF is a prefix, so they tested it. Now, is DIF a prefix? Let's see. A variant of DIS, and diffraction, fraction, diffuse, fuse. Perfect. Okay, so we can say we have evidence for DIF as a prefix, but what about this FER? What is FER? Well, if these are all affixes, then that has to be a base. So, is FER a base? Now, it's not a word as far as I know, but it could certainly be a bound base. This is when we need to find related words, and also we need to start understanding the second test. To prove a word sum is we don't only have to test its structure. We have a coherent word sum as long as we can prove FER, but we also have to prove the meaning. What the heck does FER mean? All the other words we had differ seemed logical. This is where they jump over to Etymonline, a great website for this kind of stuff. And when they typed in difffer, oh, I'm already there. They look here. They find the Latin differe, to set apart, differ, from dis, away, see, and ferre, to carry. And now look at this. I get this idea of see, infer. Now that is really helpful because it has the same root, but it has a different prefix. So if I come back here, if I can make the word infer, we can show that this is not differ, isn't a base, because we can replace a prefix here with another and make a word that's related with the same root origin. So that was very important discovery, and these are the kind of things you just find when you go on Etymonline. And if I write the word different here, we'll see that it goes back to the same root, to set apart, differe, see, differ. So again, we keep getting evidence that not only are these words connected in structure with the word sum, but with meaning. That's just a super important thing to be able to go back and forth between. Now, one thing I wanted to do, here's the word searcher. They went in and typed FER to try and find words. The list is so big. But what if another possibility, I could write infer and see what words I get with that stem. And I see, here's a nice little pile of words. So I could take these, and so now I'm going to put those words here. Maybe I'm going to write differ, and here's another little pile of words I could use as data to try and build a little matrix to show related words. Now, there could well be more, but this isn't a bad way to start. And here, this page is from Neil Remsen, and you have this word searcher, the word microscope that I highly recommend, but on my Mac, I need to use the mini matrix maker. And if you go here, and I can run this version here, watch what I can do. I'm going to take some of these words from here, and I'll just take some of them, well, I'll take them all, and I'll paste them in here. Then I'm going to work with them. I'm suggesting my base is FER, and notice the instructions are that I have to use a capital for the base. And we said this was from the Latin for carry, bring, so I can put that denotation in there. And then what I do is I put plus signs at the word sum. So I type a few word sums, infers, just the plural of that. That's pretty straightforward. Or not plural, but the third person. And I actually like to have everybody type it out, INFER and INFERS. Inferno, I'd have to do some more work to see if that FER is the same. It sounds like fire. Inferior, infernal, inference. Well, to infer and inference are certainly related, so I'm going to take that one. IN plus FER plus ENCE, and I'm going to have to prove that suffix, but I've encountered it before. INFER ENCE. Oh, and I didn't put my plus sign, which I need. So I can just stop with that if I want, and now I could take some of my other words. I had differ, so I could go DI plus FER plus ENCE. Have I done that right? Oh, no, I haven't, because it wasn't DI, it was DIF, and that explains the two F's. I'm going to look here, check my spelling, got two F's, difference, there we go. Different, okay, so I'm going to come back here. And obviously, you can just do more of this yourself, but I'm just going to do a couple more. DIF, FER, ENCE, and then different. DIF, FER plus ENT, and then we might as well do our last one. I'll finish this. DIF, FER, ENT, and how about differentiation? We have DIF plus FER, capital FER. Plus differentiate ENT plus the I connected vowel ATE gets replaced, ION, And so then I spell the whole thing D-I-F-F-E-R-E-N-T-I-A-T, no E-I-O-N. Now the cool thing here, and I've just done this, I could do more, but if I update this, boom, I get my nice little matrix that I could print, I could save, I can just do a little, if I want to just take a little screenshot of it, if I wanted to, I could just paste that into here and do some other work. But you see how much you can do here. Now finally, if I want to look at the pronunciation issue here, there's lots of interesting things. If you think about the word differ, different, and differentiation, there's all sorts of things going on here. The stress is changing, and you can use your dictionary. If you go into if you happen to have a Mac, I can go to my preferences, make sure that I'm set in the IPA, and then if I write differ, I get the nice IPA symbols here, and I see that, but watch what happens with different. Now there's this, is it different? Some people pronounce it with this extra phoneme, schwa phoneme there, but differentiation, we have all sorts of things to take a look at. Different, notice, ends with a t, but differentiation, that T is represented as sh. And so one thing I wanted to point out here is I often use these Lex cards that you get from this website, and here's the grapheme card for the T. I have all this information about its various pronunciations. When I went to this one, I'm very used to working with the t, sh, and ch representation of the T. By going to this card, I was reminded of the flap that you hear in metal and butter. It gives me all sorts of cool information that I need to know. It actually doesn't have to represent any pronunciation. But here's a grapheme phoneme chart that I often work with that tells me that if I have the T grapheme, it's a way of writing t in lots of words. Different is one. But if there's an IRU after it, it can represent these other pronunciations, the sh and ch. There's an IRU after it, and we see that with differentiation. And I could investigate all this on the word searcher as well. So I'm hoping that that's helpful. The idea of being able to hop between these tools, such as the mini matrix maker, the Etom Online, the word searcher, real spelling to get facts, and I'll just point to my own website here where you have examples of this kind of work. And I'm just posting up their video right there. You can watch their video, and lots of examples and free resources. So I hope that's helpful, and I have to again thank the Word Nerds blog where we can see this. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm going to post this on the Real Spellers website, and this work is, there's so many, this is where people post questions and ask questions. And I've recently posted one that this same group did on the structure of education, where you can watch this in another amazing video. But this is the kind of stuff where people post comments and investigate and share tools. There's all these forums for beginners, for pedagogy. There's a page with group lessons that teachers have posted and such. So anyways, that's enough for now. Cheers.